Hi, welcome to the 14-day weather forecast. Since my update last week, most of the UK has seen rain, although in parts of the south, amounts have remained small. So, how are things shaping up as we head through the next 2 weeks? I'll start by taking a look at the view across Europe and the North Atlantic. The animation today is using data from the GFS model, and it runs from 18 GMT Monday the 16th. At the outset, it's a mixed picture. This area of low pressure in the Atlantic is really controlling our weather. It's bringing showery conditions. Some in the north are heavy. In the short term, not a great deal changes. Longer outbreaks of rain push northeastwards at times, affecting western and northern parts of the UK in particular. High pressure also has some influence, though, especially across the south and the southeast. Although there is a chance of heavy rain affecting parts of the southeastern corner on Friday. Details are very uncertain, so keep up to date with the short range forecasts. Into the weekend, not a great deal changes, but there should be some dry and sunny periods around, particularly in the south, the southeast. But then through into the early part of next week, pressure falls across southern counties as low pressure has more influence. It's a changeable picture with further showers or longer spells of rain, if this is correct. And that's how it finishes on Tuesday. Looking at the air mass profile associated with that model run, so temperatures at about 1500 metres above sea level. To start off with, the yellows and oranges are indicating above the 30-year average. You can see there's very warm air over much of France, Spain, and the Mediterranean. Not much changes in the short term. Cooler air often in the west, the northwest, warmer in the south and the southeast. But by the end of the period, so Tuesday the 24th of May, the cooler air is making inroads across all parts of the UK and pushing into France, the Low Countries and Western Germany as that low pressure area becomes more dominant. Therefore, looking at the 2-metre temperatures through that period, I thought it would be interesting to compare the forecast values from the GFS model with those from the higher resolution UKV model, which is run by the Met Office. So on the left, it's for GFS. These are maximums on 15 GMT, Tuesday the 17th. The GFS is going for 24 Celsius in the London area. The UKV slightly higher in central and eastern England, up to 25 Celsius. Not a huge amount of difference though. Looking at the forecast minimums for 06 GMT on Thursday the 19th. Again, it's quite a mild or even warm picture in central and eastern England. Temperatures not falling below 13 or 14 Celsius on both of these model output charts. But if you look down to Cornwall, there's quite an interesting variation there. The UKV model on the right has minimums going down to 4 Celsius, so very chilly. Also in southern Wales, the GFS with its lower resolution doesn't go below 9 Celsius. Much milder if it's correct in the southwest and southern Wales. And I think in large part the differences between those forecasts are due to the GFS's resolution, as I've hinted. It's got a broader grid, a coarser grid, so each point on there represents a bigger area, and it's less good at identifying small-scale local differences from the UKV model. On balance, the UKV is likely to be closer to the mark, so it could well be a chilly start on Thursday in southern Wales and southwestern England. Going forwards to Thursday afternoon to see the maximums, very similar on both of these now, 20s, 21s in central and eastern England, maybe 22 Celsius, so pleasantly warm still. Also eastern parts of Scotland there are seeing very respectable temperatures. Going forwards now to Saturday the 21st, out of range of the UKV, so just for GFS, maximums still around 20, maybe 21 Celsius in the London area. Temperatures will be very dependent throughout this period on cloud cover and rainfall. So where sunny spells develop, it's likely to become warm, but temperatures really will be pegged back significantly in cloudier and wetter areas. The MOGREPS temperature plot for London highlights the same general trends, broadly consistent all runs in the ensemble. They closely packed together until around the 20th, when a big spread develops, a maximum there 25. At the lower end of the ensemble, there's a run there going for something like 13 or 14 Celsius. So that spread increasing from about the 20th onwards, indicating a decreasing level of confidence in just how things will be evolving. Looking at the rainfall forecasts, days 0 to 5, ECM on the left, GFS on the right. Both show the wettest conditions in the northwest. All of the UK sees some rain, but in southern and central England, amounts are not great. Going forwards to the 0 to 10 days period, again, wettest in the northwest, but this time the GFS has significantly increased the totals in southern and central counties, ECM less so. Therefore, it's just highlighting the ongoing uncertainty about the amount of rain which southern and central counties can expect. So, how do the deterministic models stack up against each other at the end of the first week? Here's the GFS, which the sequence was based on, Monday the 23rd. Low pressure here just for northwest. It's a changeable theme. The Canadian model at the same time, it's a little bit different. High pressure to the northwest, to the south here, areas of low pressure, both sides of the UK, but all in all, it's quite a mixed setup. The German icon, again, a little bit different, but quite a changeable pattern. The European ECM, this has things more clearly defined with high pressure centred to the west, showers probably restricted to eastern counties of Britain. Finally, the UK Met Office, again, a little bit different with low pressure just to the north, probably quite a changeable theme with patchy outbreaks of rain, maybe moving southeastwards if it's correct at this point. All in all, the differences between the models on these updates are quite significant, although they generally are indicating a changeable or quite an unsettled theme across the UK. It's just the details which are varying. So none of them are going for a warm, settled and summery theme at this stage. Will the mixed conditions continue through week 2? Well, it's all about trends and probabilities, or at least trying to identify them at this range. And to help, I'll start with the 16-day GEFS plot for London. Air mass temperatures across the top are generally a little bit above the 30-year average, shown by the thick black line. There is a big spread showing up there, though. One or two are going for very warm air masses to move in across this part of the UK, and there are a few significantly cooler ones too. Rain across the bottom, spikes continue to show up throughout the period. It doesn't look particularly wet. I'll come back to that a little bit later. Going up to Glasgow, on balance, most of the runs are showing air mass temperatures close to that 30-year average than they were on the London update. If anything, just slightly above it. Rain across the bottom, there are more spikes showing here, and some of them are quite big, wetter in the northwest. The 2-metre temperature data table for London, the temperatures we can expect to experience down at the ground level. The oranges make up the bulk of the columns going forward throughout the second week. Those runs forecasting between 16 and 25 Celsius. A little bit of red showing up as well. The very warm ones, 26 to 30 Celsius. A few yellow runs too. Much cooler conditions. On balance though, temperatures probably close to or above the norm. Up to Glasgow, cooler here. Yellows and light oranges dominant, so 11 Celsius up to 20 Celsius. A little bit of dark orange on 1 or 2 days. Those will be 21 to 25 runs. Generally, though, as I say, cooler and wetter as you move further northwest in the UK. The mean surface level pressure data table for York indicates low pressure probably having quite a lot of influence early on. The greens there, 39%, 996 to 1,010 millibars, and yellows, 1,011 to 1,025, being dominant. And I think quite a few of the runs in the yellow bucket are coming in at the lower end of that forecast range. Later on, though, the amount of orange increases, 1,026 to 1,040. The trend towards the end of the period is for pressure to be rising, possibly becoming more settled. Breaking out the rainfall forecasts in more detail, here's the data table for London. Light grey is indicating completely dry conditions for the given time period. Dark grey, just a little bit of rain. The heavier bursts are shown by purples, blues, greens. As I say, it doesn't look particularly wet through this period, but the risk of rain continues. Comparing the same thing for Glasgow, this time from the purples, blues, greens, yellows and oranges are more abundant. It's a wetter pattern. Far fewer light grey runs, which are the ones going for the completely dry periods. Looking at the GEFS mean surface level pressure forecast for Thursday the 26th. It's mixed really. Low pressure probably centred to the west for northwest, high pressure to the southwest. Low pressure probably having a good deal of influence at this point, quite changeable scenario being favoured, consistent with the idea of it being drier as you head further south. And the ECM plot at the same time, it's a little bit different, but again, maybe high pressure centred to the southwest, more changeable, more unsettled in the north and the east of the UK. If it's correct, drier in the south, maybe more focus on the southwest, having the best of the weather according to this. So there are some differences there between the ECM and the GEFS, but it's probably important not to read too much into those. Taking them as a whole, it's quite a mixed pattern at this stage. So to summarise the next 2 weeks, week 1, it's changeable with showers or long spells of rain, wettest in the northwest, driest in the south, maybe the southeast. Temperatures often above the average, warm at times in central and eastern counties. Week 2, changeable, wettest once more in the northwest, temperatures close to or above the average when taken across the UK as a whole, although cooler on balance in the northwest. There is a signal for it to begin to turn more settled later as pressure starts to rise. So there we have it. The word which probably sums it up best is mixed. Put in a little bit more detail into that, I would say wettest in the northwest, uncertainty about rain totals in parts of southern and central Britain, temperatures often close to or above the norm, warm on some days, especially in central and eastern England, and a tantalising possibility of it beginning to turn more settled as high pressure builds towards the end of the 14 days. That, though, is a very, very long way off. Nonetheless, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, found it useful. If you did, then as ever, please remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons below. Thanks now. Bye.